a quick walk in the park and just to do a morning encouragement. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, probably you go to bed overnight with a lot of worries, lots of anxieties. Wake up, you still feel unsettled. Sometimes it's good to just wake up, give God thanks, bless the day, commit everything in God's hand, and then just go for a walk. Find a quiet space, calm place, just go for a walk, reason with God, talk to Him, you know, tell Him about all the things that are troubling you, talk to Him, reason with Him, put it before Him. God, this thing is causing a lot of anxiety. I am worried about these things. Lord, I don't know how to fix these problems. How can I solve them? Lord, I'm committing everything into your hands. So, morning inspiration, whatever it is that you're going through, no matter how hard, how difficult things may seem, there is hope. There's hope in King Jesus. There's hope in God. And you don't have to bear all the burdens alone. You don't need to carry all the pain, all the sorrows. You don't need to walk with those things alone. You just need to lean on God. You just need to lean on His word. You need to trust Him. And you need to believe that God can solve any problem, no matter how big, how hard, how difficult the problem may seem. Give it to God. Give it all to Jesus. Give it all to Him. And when you give that problem to God, do not go back and take that burden up. Do not go back and retrieve it and try to solve it on your own. Because that's a way of you saying, God, I don't really trust you. So I'm picking up my burdens again and I'm going to try and resolve them on my own. Give it to God and let God deal with it. Give it to Him and let Him work it out for you. That's the God that we serve. There are times in my life when I've come across really challenging, very difficult, hard situations where I feel hopeless. I feel, you know what? I just want to throw in the towel. There's no hope here. I can't go on. I don't want to carry on. I don't want to deal with all these problems, all these burdens on my own. But then I said, you know what? I trust God. And one way of me trusting God is by committing all the affairs, all the worries, everything that's troubling you. Just cast them upon Jesus. Cast all your burdens on Him. Give it to God. Give it to God and let Him work it out for you. God is mighty. He's all powerful. He controls the whole universe. Do you think your problem is too big that He can't resolve it? Do you think your problem that you're stressing, worrying yourself, sleepless night, do you think your problem is so big that mighty God cannot deal with that problem for you? Good morning, guys. Good morning. I'm taking a little walk in the park, giving you guys some inspiration, just encouraging people this morning to trust God, trust His will. Stop worrying, stop being anxious about things. Give it to God, man. Give all your worries to God. My mom used to be a worrier. My mom spent the whole of her entire life worrying about everything. How she was going to feed us, how she was going to put clothes on our back, how she was going to send us to school. Everything was a worry for my mom. And instead of praying, instead of trusting God, my mom is always constantly worrying about things. And the only thing my mom got from worrying was hypertension and a heart attack. So it didn't do anything. It didn't solve any of the problems. No matter how much she was worried, she was anxious, she was stressing about things, it didn't solve any problem. No problem whatsoever. It did not solve. So this morning, I just want to encourage you guys on the live, anything that you're going through, no matter how difficult, no matter how impossible it seems, God is able and He can work it out for you. But one thing you need to do, you need to have faith. You need to have faith. You need to trust God. And you need to believe that God can work it out for you. If you don't have that faith and you don't have that belief, it is not going to work. It is not going to work. There are times in my life when I have to completely, entirely lean on God. I've had some situation a couple of years ago, family deaths, very difficult situation that I had to deal with. And I remember crying and looking around me trying to see who could solve my problem, who could help me. And there was no one. And then I just learned to I just started to say, you know what, God, I'm going to try Jesus. I'm going to try you, God. I hear people talking about you, giving their testimony. I am going to put you, Lord, to the test. So I started to cry out to God. I find quiet time, quiet space in my house. I'll go down on my knees. Sometimes I pray. I don't even know what to say to you this morning. But God, this thing is worrying me. This thing is stressing me. This thing is too big for me, Lord. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix it, God. So I'm asking you, Jesus, to make the way for me. I'm asking you to come true for me this morning, you know? And I got to that place where I said, Lord, I'm emptying myself and I am trusting you. I am giving you every single thing because I don't know how to fix it. Some of these problems are so big. I don't even know where to go for help. I don't know where to go for that help. But I went on my knees and I cried out to God and I just gave everything to Him. Every single thing that I was going through, I gave it to God. And then after a while, I just saw He started to work things out for me. So I'm just encouraging you this morning not to give up on things, but to be inspired, you know, when things are too much, too difficult, too hard. Seek God's face, give it to God. And when you give something to God, please don't pick up that problem again. Don't pick up the problem. Commit everything in His hands. Surrender your will, your cares, and just say, God, I'm leaning on you, Lord, and you only to see me through this thing. I'm leaning on you, God, to work it out for me. And I am trusting you. You have to trust God. If you don't trust Him, then how is He going to work it out for you? Listen, we trust a pilot to take us how many feet? 5,000 feet up in the air or even more. Yes, we trust the train drivers to drive the train. We trust the taxi drivers to drive us through busy cities. We don't know the record. We don't know the history of that driver. We don't know if the pilot has had a drink overnight. We don't know if the train driver had taken some drug. We don't know that, but we trust them. We trust them to get us to our destination safely. We don't expect that something is going to go wrong. We don't. So why can't we trust the Creator who created us in His own image, His own likeness? He molded and shaped us in the way that He wanted us to be. Don't you think He's capable of looking after our needs? Nothing is too hard for God. Nothing is too big that God cannot fix. And I have proven that for myself time and time again. So this morning, the message is just a morning motivation, guys. Whatever it is that you're going through, no matter how impossible it may seem, no matter how big that problem seems, God is able. Trust God. Commit it into His hands and God will work it out for you. So I hope that you guys have a lovely day. I wish you all the blessing that God gives to everyone. I hope that whatever is you're going through, God will work it out for you. And I know that He will. Just trust Him, trust His will, and He will do it for you. Have a lovely day, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye. Just say thank you, Jesus.